Hello, everybody, and welcome back to That Pretentious Book Club.
Welcome, welcome. We're so glad you're here.
You're here.
Everyone's gonna.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
here.
We're not actually British. If you guys are new here, welcome back to season 5. I don't know if you guys could tell
Can you
by our
tell?
horrible accents, truly horrible accents. But we do like to
Horrible.
tease British here, so just know you're
Yes,
in
if you
for
don't
that
like
if you
that,
guys are
get out.
new. Yeah,
No,
get
but
out.
if you are British, welcome. We love you too.
Welcome. Don't worry. We actually, it's just
Yeah.
envy is all that this is. It's just poorly veiled envy. Well, not
Yeah.
from Kendall, maybe from me. By the way, that over there
Welcome,
is
everybody. Oh,
Kendall Shot,
hi.
aka Dr. Spoons Palermo.
Hi, howdy. And over there, whose lines I keep stepping on, is Ash O'Rourke, but you can call her Wheezy.
It ain't easy being wheezy. It's also not easy to have a lag because actually what was happening was I could tell you were on like normal time and then my computer kept lagging when I was trying to say things. We're recording remotely, what we typically do these days. But if you guys don't
Mhm.
want to hear our nonsense, and if you came here just to hear about the book, all the book, only the book, nothing but the book, you guys can go to the description for the episode below and you can use the skip notes, go to the skip code. That will be all the book stuff. We have gotten some feedback that you guys want that. We've been saying this for a hot minute now, y'all. Those skip notes are in every single episode. And you know what I realized? I made like a bit of a TikTok about it because I woke up bleary eyed to a new 1-star review. Thank you, by the way, to all of you who have given us such sweet reviews. We only have like a couple bad reviews and they're 1-star. All of the bad ones, it's funny. Like there's no in between. Like most people are like 5 stars. These girls are wonderful. We love chatting with them. We feel like we're all besties. We feel like we're besties with y'all too, by the way. And we love getting messages from you. So keep that coming. But the only bad reviews we have are specifically 1-star. I think there's 3 of them now. And they all say the same thing, which is, oh my God, these girls talk about nothing for like the first half hour of the podcast or longer. And we're like, uh-huh. And like that's the whole thing. But
Like,
I
I
realized,
understand if that's what you want, but like that's what the podcast is, so we're not changing us. But if you like the book stuff, then please skip ahead. Like,
please go ahead, skip
there's no
ahead.
reason to leave. You can just skip ahead.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I
we
mean,
like you the same.
yeah,
It's
it's
fine.
fine. Yeah, but it's just funny because they've just been very aggressive. Actually, the last one was just very clever. So I sent a screenshot to Kendall because I
Okay,
woke
the
up
last
like
one
bleary
was my
eyed.
favorite.
It was
If there's
good.
any chance that any of the 1-star people are still listening, which I highly doubt, but
I
if you
doubt it.
are, the last
Points
person
for
to leave a 1-star
creativity.
review, yeah, point you
We did
get some
enjoy
brownie
it.
points. I
Yeah,
really liked it.
I liked it too. Good job. Nice. It was well put together. Very well thought
Yeah.
out. Thank you for that.
So
But I
that's another
woke up.
thing. If you guys are gonna leave bad reviews, put some effort into it at least, because we'll
Yeah.
take notice.
We will take notice. We do every time. We don't always make changes. The first 1-star review was helpful because we were like, oh, maybe we should tell people that we have skip notes. Well, they had been there the whole time, but I guess we hadn't ever told anyone that they were there. So
Yeah.
some
So
people
if
didn't
we do keep
realize.
forgetting, which we do sometimes,
We
they are
will.
there, people, and it's
They're
it's
there.
okay to use them. Please
Just
do
know
if you
that
want
going
to.
forward in the rest of season 5, or if you're listening backwards, just know they're there in every episode. But I realized because I made a TikTok because I woke up bleary eyed like first thing in the morning, saw the review and was like, huh, that's funny. And I sent a screenshot to Kendall and then I made a TikTok about it reacting. And you can tell I've like just woke up. And I was thinking after the fact, I was like, what would be so much funnier? Because what I realized is now I can relate to the professors who would be like, if you have a question and I answer it in the syllabus, I am not going to answer it again. Read your damn syllabus. Like, I have never related to that more. I've always been like, oh my God, like, I'm sorry, I have a question about that homework. Like, and they're like, it's in your syllabus, read your syllabus. And all the professors who were like, first, some of them were annoyed and some of them had just reached the point of apathy, like the professors who've been professors longer, they reached the point where they're like, it's all in the syllabus. And they're like, not shocked that no one reads it. But they're like, once again, I will say it's in the syllabus. So as mentioned in your syllabus, I'm like, but there's just a general apathy.
They're just like, whatever. Nobody's
Yeah,
gonna read the syllabus.
this is exactly. I'm starting to relate to this. And I realized I could have made a video basically just saying I'm sorry to all of my professors whose syllabus I did not pay enough attention to, because now I do get kind of the, oh my God, we've been over this
Like,
before, but
we've
we'll
been
say it
over
again.
this.
Yeah. And it probably would have been a little bit more clever, but now if I post it, it's gonna seem like I'm just still harping on it. They're gonna be like, oh my God, she's
Right. They're gonna
still
be like,
on this.
that 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 bitter bitch. She will not
Exactly.
come off of this. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But I wanted to just point that out because now I feel like I relate to my professors a little bit more
That
with
is
the whole syllabus conundrum.
That is
And
funny. I like
yeah.
that.
But anyways, Spoons, how has your week been?
It's been fine.
I just saw
Uh,
you recently,
we
actually.
did. We saw each other recently. That was a fun time.
It was fun. I liked it.
I liked it too. Other than that, it's been
You're
all
like, I
right.
hated it.
Yeah, it was really it was so
Like,
fun. We should
I
do it
liked it
again.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
can't wait to do it again.
I
I'm really
really
busy lately,
liked
so
it. Yeah. Like maybe not like soon, but like we could do it some other time,
yeah,
maybe.
like maybe I don't know,
Um,
sometime in the new year. I got a lot of things on my plate right now.
I'll text you. I'll text you.
Oh God, I'll text you. Oh, that's just so
um,
iconic for adult
Everything's
friendship.
been yeah. Oh gosh, we should get together.
Oh my
Let's
God, yeah,
not
I'll
ever
text
get together.
you.
Most of the
All
time
right.
I mean it, honestly. I'm like, yeah, we should hang out.
No,
And then
you're
it's
good
just
about
like
that. You mean
we
it.
never
I
do.
I try and also mean it if I say it, so I don't say it
I
very
try to
often.
mean it.
I won't say it if I don't mean it, so I don't say it very often. So there's sometimes where I feel like I'm like, chatting with someone over text I haven't seen in a while, and I feel like I'm like societally obligated to be like, hey,
Yeah.
we should get together soon. But I'm like, I don't want to. And so I don't. And so I try not, I won't do it if I actually am not into it because I feel like that's mean, but maybe it's mean also to not. I'm going to be mean
I
either
think
way.
it's better. You don't want to be a liar about it.
Yeah,
Because
exactly. I
then,
don't want to set up
because then
false
you'll just have to
expectations.
make up an excuse later for not hanging out,
Exactly. I want people to know exactly what they can't expect from me right off the bat, which is
You're like, here are my
frequent
terms.
sightings. Here are the
Yeah.
terms of our friendship agreement.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh God.
Well, how's your week?
I'm sorry. I totally stepped all over your week. I didn't even let you say tell me about
There's
your week.
nothing.
Oh,
It's
okay.
fine.
Well, my week has been fine. This is supposed to be our hiatus week when we're recording, actually. This is supposed to
Hmm.
be when we're on break. And then I was so mean and I was like, Spoons, I just realized I'm gonna be gone on a business trip and then I'm gonna be gone on a personal trip like the week and weekend that we would typically record this episode. So I'm going to take away your hiatus week that we're supposed to get a break from recording. And I'm going to give you like 2 days of notice. Like on Friday, I was like, hey, could we record this weekend? So my bad.
It's all
I should have thought
good.
about that in advance. I've been letting just shit go lately. I've just been not planning in advance, because Javi has this life, my husband, if you guys are new here, has this, life philosophy that everything will just work out. And he'll go, don't worry, babe, it'll get taken care of. And I, for like a couple weeks, have been trying to embrace that. But what I've said it before, and I'll say it again, here is where this philosophy just breaks down. It just falls apart. Yes, everything will get done because I will freaking be the one to do it. And so, but for a few weeks, I tried to live out his life philosophy his way. And I was like, no, I really have to stay on top of things.
You're like,
So
maybe this doesn't work for
maybe
everyone.
this doesn't work for everyone. Maybe it doesn't work unless you have someone who is taking care of the things.
Yeah, maybe you're the one taking care of things. Yeah,
Don't worry,
exactly.
it'll happen. You have to have someone making things happen. And unfortunately, that's me. So
Ah, a
I'm trying to do
go-getter.
better. But yeah, I'm a
You're girl
go-getter.
bossing.
Sure, that's what we'll call it. Girl
Sure,
bossing.
yeah,
I
whatever.
don't have control problems. I'm just girl bossing. Oh
Oh
God. But anyway,
Lord.
so I'm really sorry I only gave you like 2 days of notice to be like, I need you to finish reading all of Mansfield Park by Jane
It's
Austen.
fine. I thought it was pretty good. So, well,
Yeah, this was I liked this book the first time I read it a few years ago. So it was one of the only Jane Austens I liked for a while,
mhm.
besides, Pride and Prejudice, my baby.
Right,
But
right. I mean, everybody likes P&P, so.
yeah, P&P, exactly. As far as my week goes, I have had a cold and
Right.
so that's why I sound this way. I don't usually sound like this. I usually sound like a little bit less trollish, like not a lot less, but like a little less at least, like a few degrees less troll is my
I think
usual.
a
But
few degrees.
so I'm a little like gross and I'm probably going to cough some during this episode. I recorded actually with our sister podcast, the Scripturient Society for Writers, literally just like 2 hours ago. And so I like chugged like tea and water and I still coughed a bunch. So I'll try and cut out all of my coughing. If I miss one, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry I sound like this. But I guess exciting news for my week is my husband's coming home on leave. So I'm finally going to get to see him,
Yay.
which is so exciting. Annoying part is I have to go on a business trip for 2 days in the middle of his leave, which is
Boo.
infuriating. Yeah, boo for that. But my little niece is going to come stay with us. So
Yay.
yay. And then I guess the good does outweigh the bad, because then Javi and I are going to this big like Harry Potter ball to celebrate our anniversary. So that's another yay.
Yeah.
And then he goes back. So it's just like a hell of a week. And I've been spending the last week having a hell of a week being super sick and trying to keep the whole house clean and get everything prepped for the fact that I'm going to be gone while husband and niece are going to be here. So it's been a week, and it's only, what is today? Is today Monday?
Yeah, it's Monday.
Yeah. I feel like the last like week has been about a month of my life.
Yeah. It's that 30 Rock meme where she's like, oh man, what a week. And he's like, Lemon, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, that's me. It is Monday. It's the end of the day Monday. I've already lived a lot of lives just in this 24 hours. But God, I guess that's been my week. I don't think anything else interesting has happened.
That's good.
Yeah. So
look at us rocking and rolling. I mean, making it, we're doing our best.
We are rocking and rolling.
We're about
rocking and stumbling and
rocking and stumbling, and
we'll get there. Putting whiskey in our tea. I will be honest, this is just hot water and whiskey. There's no more tea anymore. I saved it to have with you also. I had just hot tea earlier, but yeah, it's good though.
I have a Mike's Hard Lemonade, but it's black cherry.
Ooh, we love to booze while we read books.
We do it a lot.
Yeah. A lot.
Drink responsibly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're obviously proponents of that. Ow! I am also, if you guys are new here and you guys are watching this video on Patreon, although if you're new, you're probably not on Patreon yet, but we do have a Patreon. That's where all of our video episodes are, aside from some of our special ones. Like our Halloween one is on there, but everybody can access it regardless of patron status or whatever. But I don't usually record on my bed is what I'm saying. And right now I'm recording on my bed because I already had all my equipment set up here. And it's a whole mess to set up and move, and I didn't want to move it again. So I am like crouched over, like I'm hunched like a troll over my computer right now on the bed, and my back hurts from hunching over near the mic. But for some reason, my brain was like, this will be less painful than setting up all the equipment at your desk, which may or may not be true. But so everyone's getting a new picture of my room, which is basically, now you can see the curtain behind me.
Yeah, and your little Cowboys
and
lantern.
Yes, and the Cowboys lamp that is my husband's, and the sunflower pillow that is mine. That's it. And then the gross wall we haven't painted.
Gross.
And I'm wearing my enemies to lovers sweatshirt that Carissa gave me from.
Oh, very fun.
So, yeah, because I love an enemies to lovers, which is not this book at all.
No, this book is like my jam, except for the cousin lovers.
Except for we're back to the cousin lovers again.
We cannot escape it.
The cousin lovers are everywhere. I know.
It's truly astounding how staunchly opposed we are to it. It's astounding how many books we read that have it,
I know. Was season 4 the season of cousin lovers?
It was the season of cousin lovers.
Yeah, it was the season of just cousin lovers everywhere. And I guess we're going to kick off season 5 with the same. It's like a slow burn, almost like friends to lovers energy, but it is cousin lovers. And I believe they are first cousins, just to go
They
ahead
they are indeed first cousins.
So it's worse even than some of our other cousin lovers.
Yeah, this might be like the worst cousin lovers we've had.
Yeah,
but I like them so much.
Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. They weren't first cousins, were they?
I don't think they were first. I think they were like second, maybe, or something.
Yeah, like they were still closer, but like not first. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the closest cousin lovers that we've unabashedly seen.
Not good.
Yeah, what's funny is they're also both like the biggest prudes in the world. So it's a little bit funny.
They're sweethearts, both of them.
But they're both sweethearts.
I do have some notes. I'm
like maybe they're both major buzzkills. Just that's my
opinion. Exactly.
I do love them both, but they are both major buzzkills.
They seriously are. You know what? I wanted to have Emily on for this later because I thought of it like this weekend because Emily read it recently and she was like very into it and has all these opinions. So while I was reading it, I kept texting her like, okay, blah, blah, I'm at the part, and she was like giving me full analyses.
Oh my God.
So I might regurgitate some of that and then just credit her because some of it was good.
My memory is really bad. My problem with classics is a lot of like the importances and like the details, and so this is part of why I struggle with classics is because of my memory problems. But this is the second time I've read it, so hopefully more will stick. It's very easy to have big opinions about this one, though. I feel like this isn't
Yeah.
like a milk toast one. This is like a wow. This is a little crazy. It's a little almost like it could be soap opera-y if the main, protagonist wasn't Fanny Price,
Yes.
the
Oh,
most like
Fanny.
antithesis of a soap opera character. She's
She,
so undramatic when she should be dramatic.
yeah, seriously. Oh
Oh my
God.
god. She's the meme of like the dog sitting in like the bus that's on fire. That this is fine.
This is fine.
This is fine. She's actually like, I'm really sorry to even bother anybody with my presence. I know that I'm just a burden in this situation that I did not cause. Everyone has my greatest apologies for existing.
So sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't look at me.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like,
I
if you
guess
look
we
at me,
could
I will die. Thank
exactly.
you.
That's exactly what she's like. Um, should we just get into it? I
Yeah,
mean,
let's just do it.
wow, you guys are getting a real treat for this first episode of season 5. Like only 15 minutes in, and we're actually getting into the book. Um, you're welcome. Just see you're to our 1-star reviewers. You're welcome who are not here anymore.
They're not here.
This is an anomaly. I'm sure the next episode we're going to chat about nonsense for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So I just don't want anyone to like
Don't
come into
get
this with the wrong
comfortable.
expectations. Yeah, actually don't get comfortable. That's right. We want to keep you on the edge of your seats in
You
that
never
pretentious
know
book
what'll
club.
happen around here.
We really don't. It's true. But there's a very loose structure to this whole thing that we've been doing
Very
for 5
loose.
seasons. Okay, so we usually would give you guys the author bio at this point, but we've already done a Jane Austen bio. It was in episode 1, season 1 of That Pretentious Book Club, so it was our episode on Pride and Prejudice, but it was very detailed. So I'm going to say once again, I stand by that bio. I don't think we need to redo it. If you guys want the detailed Jane Austen bio, you guys can listen to it in hi Brownie, hi doggy dog. The dog is a part of this. You cannot get on the bed. I just cleaned the comforter. She's like, but you just cleaned me. I gave the dog a bath. She is wearing a peppermint bandana, and it's very cute. Go lay down in your bed. Thank you. I just waved her away like she was a little servant.
You really did. You went, goodbye.
Goodbye with you. Off with you. I have no need of your services at this time. I'll ring you again later. But yeah, so we're not going to do the bio this time. We're just going to get into it. This episode, we're doing Mansfield Park by Jane Austen, which is a good one.
Yay, Mansfield Park.
Yay!
Okie dokie.
I think Carissa asked me, she said, was this the last one that Jane Austen wrote? Do you know by any chance?
I heard it was the first.
Oh, see, I don't know. Is it the first?
Okay, let's look it up.
Yeah, maybe we should have done a little bit of prep work. No.
No prep work.
No prep work.
Oh, it's the third published novel.
Oh.
But I don't know when she wrote it.
Where was it written? I don't know. What if we just say, listeners, can you guys find out? Can you do our job for us? Welcome to season 1 of episode 5, where we don't do our jobs.
We can cut this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jane Austen writing order. I'm gonna look that up.
Ooh, interesting.
Book order written.
I didn't think I was gonna care, and then I was like, actually, I do kind of want to know.
Oh. Okay. Well, this says that Northanger Abbey was the first one she wrote.
Interesting.
Which I love Northanger Abbey.
That was our last season, right?
Yeah. Then apparently Sense and Sensibility, then Pride and Prejudice, and then Mansfield Park. And then Emma, and then Persuasion.
Oh, so this was like middle of the lineup. This reads like one of her last for some reason.
You think?
Maybe I think it does. Well, it's just a lot more bleak, to be honest. And I think a lot of authors tend to get more bleak as they write. But I guess not. I mean, it is kind of bleak, though. I mean,
not ends for our girl, I guess, because she wrote. Well, Persuasion's kind of sad.
Yeah,
I would say
it's not too.
Emma
sad.
is pretty jaunty.
Emma's very jaunty. That's true. None of Jane Austen's work is that sad. I think that's why I'm calling this comparatively
this one
bleak,
didn't
because
feel
she's not really.
Yeah, I guess compared to Emma, maybe, or Northanger Abbey.
Yeah, or Pride and Prejudice, even. Like, I think it's a little sadder. Like the parts that are sad are sadder. There's not necessarily more sad parts, just the parts that are sad to me are sadder.
Interesting.
But we'll get into why I think that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so as we just already said, the main character of this book is Fanny Price.
Mm-hmm.
And Fanny is so Fanny's family is somewhat poor because her
Mm-hmm.
mother married a
Married
guy who
below
is
her
not,
station.
rich. And
Ladies, always check and see if he has a trust fund. Always check. This is dating advice with That Pretentious Book
oh my
Club.
god, we're gonna marry below your station. Do your research. So he
Oh God.
so Fanny, like, growing up from like until age 10, grew up
Mm-hmm.
with her poor family, but her cousins and her aunt and uncle are somewhat rich and well connected
And
and
pretentious.
pretentious.
Not in like the haha way we are.
No, not like us. We're delightful.
We're amazing, but
They're a
yeah,
little less than delightful, but they
just a
decide
smidge.
that, hey, we could help out one of the, poor kids, basically. So Fanny basically gets sent to live
With the rich family.
yeah, with the rich family at when she's 10 years old, and basically has no contact with her family after this, which is
Okay, this is
insane.
traumatic. This is
It is.
very traumatic.
It's really crazy. And so they're like, "Oh, we're doing us such a service." And she's like 10, like, where's my mom?"
Yeah, exactly. And
And
they're like
so,
just patting themselves on the back. This is
yes,
still very much like children are like little trophies, pretty little
little
trophies.
trophies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're like, "We're doing you such a favor. You'll be so well connected." And it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But really, they just kind of, they're also, before she even gets there, they're like, "Okay, so we're going to do, right by her, but
Gotta lay down
she's not
some
going to be
ground
like
rules.
as good as us." Yeah.
Yes. She's like, we got to remember to make sure that she knows that she's actually not on the same level as you guys. So anytime you get the chance to remind her that she's really just like a step above a servant and is like lucky to be here, go ahead and remind her of that. We don't want her to
Yeah.
get the impression that she's as good as we
That
are.
she's like the same, because she's not.
Because she's not. Oh my
It
God.
is pretty wild. But so the
Oh,
only person really in the family who's actually really nice to her is Edmund,
Edmund.
and he's her first cousin.
He's her
But
first cousin, the youngest of the family, I believe, of the
is
siblings.
he?
I think
Oh,
he's the
okay.
youngest because I think Tom is the oldest, and then there's the girls who are both
Yeah.
shallow and kind of annoying, and then there's um, and then I think it's Edmund.
Well, Edmund's definitely the younger son. I didn't know if he was the youngest of the family, but
No,
I
he's
guess
definitely
you
the
probably
younger son.
remember better
Well,
than me.
yeah, we can definitely
I
trust
don't.
my memory on anything ever.
Well, regardless, Edmund is the second son, and so he's not getting, like, all of the fancy stuff, but he
No,
wants to join the church, basically. So he's
be a
gonna
clergyman.
go be a clergyman. Yeah.
Is
So
this the
Edmund,
first Austen clergyman who's not completely insufferable?
I was thinking about it, and I think he is.
I mean, okay, I did feel like he was a little bit insufferable though.
No,
Like
I like
he was
Edmund.
just I knew you would. He's just a little bit more of a stick in the mud than I would like. He's very sweet and I can't take
No,
any
he's
I have no real issue with him. I can't point to any evidence to have a real issue with him except that I'm like I feel like you could have a little more fun than you're going to let yourself have because you're
oh,
being
for sure.
righteous, but it comes from a very pure place with him. So like I can't criticize him. Like it's all very real for him. It's not like an ego thing like the other clergymen
This
in
is
Jane
just
Austen's
like
other books.
his personality.
Yeah, it really just is. He's just
um,
pure, and so is Fanny.
well, see,
They're
this
just
is why they
pure.
work, because they're
Yeah.
both so boring.
It's really, really true. I mean, Fanny Price is the most boring protagonist, objectively speaking. I love her
Yeah,
dearly. I'm obsessed with Fanny, and I was the first time I read it too. But objectively speaking, she
objectively,
is the
she's so
most
boring.
boring protagonist ever.
I mean, like, it's so wild comparing Fanny with, like, Elizabeth Bennet.
I
Jane
know.
knows how to mix up her characters. I love it. She can
She
do not
really
ever say Jane is a
understands.
one-trick
Mm-mm.
pony.
She really
Or
gets like the
like,
whole range of the human experience.
yes, or like, even what's her name, Catherine from Northanger Abbey,
Mm-hmm.
wildly different from Fanny.
Oh my God. Oh, yes, absolutely. She definitely was like, I understand all kinds of women and they're all valuable, which is nice. Whereas I'm
Yes.
like, no, certain people are better than others. And Jane's like, no, 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 Ash. Put that away in your tiny little mind. I'm going to show you something new.
Jane's like, I am truly enlightened, and allow me to tell you all about it.
And I'm like,
So
yes, Master Jane, tell me,
yes,
teach
Jane,
me.
I'll do anything you say. Um, so yeah, so Fanny grows up with the Bertrams, is their last name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so they're all just like, whatever. And then the dad, Sir Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
yes, he ends up going away on
I want to say to
business.
Antigua or something, to like
Yes, he
some
did.
property he has.
Right,
He's
something
going
like
to take care of
that.
some like holding, some business thing, and he's going to be out of the country for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like,
So
I don't know when I'll be back. And then like the dramatic wife is like, oh, he may never come back. And it's like, he said he's gonna come back. I think he's gonna try and come back. It's not like a
like,
dangerous
I
thing.
guess
Y'all are pretty
he'll
wealthy.
be back. Yeah. Y'all are
Yeah,
so privileged. I'm sure nothing will happen
I
to him.
think you'll be fine.
Yeah, I feel like he was doing weird shit though. Like they didn't get into it, but I was like,
Mm-mm.
what are you like doing? I'm
Yeah,
concerned.
they
But
didn't get into it as much.
uh
I did reread a Spark Notes summary just to make sure I had it all like organized, because sometimes I do that because my brain
mhm.
forgets people completely. And then like they made it sound like it was all just like, like business stuff. But I also felt like, well, what is he doing? Why is he This is weird. It did not feel as plain and simple as Spark Notes made it seem. I think they're just dumbing it down.
Well, I don't trust anybody in that family except for Edmund. So
That's true. Strongly
um
agree. I'm gonna have a take
so
later on one of the other characters you're not gonna like, and I don't even like it, but I can't help it.
oh, okay. Well, I'm
But
excited to hear.
yeah. Anyways, continue.
So anyway, while he's gone, these new people show up in town and they start hanging out with them, and they're the
Mm-hmm.
Crawfords. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's Mary and Henry Crawford,
Mm-hmm.
and they're siblings. And
Mm-hmm.
Mary is very like how do we describe Mary? I feel like
Mean?
she's charming, but
Uh-huh. Until she's mean.
she can be kind of,
She's
yeah,
really
selfish, I
charming
think.
until she's a bitch, and then she's
Yeah.
charming again.
And
But
Henry is very charming as well. They're both very rich and very outwardly enticing. However, once you
enticing.
scratch the surface, you're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So they start all
Yeah.
hanging out, and then there's like some other people who are hanging out. And Mariah, it's spelled like Maria, but I'm pretty sure
Oh
they
yeah,
pronounce it
that's right. It's
Mariah.
Mariah. It is Mariah. You're right.
So Mariah Bertram gets sort of like engaged to this guy.
Rushworth.
Yes, Rushworth. And then there's also like a couple other guys hanging out. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
there's like a bunch of like 20 somethings / late teens hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have no idea how old some of them are. Probably these men are like 40. But whatever.
Oh,
The
that makes it so much more cringe. Like
it's
community
true.
theater.
Yes.
He says, as a theater kid, I can say that as an insider. It's true.
Yeah, so this is like the crazy part because they're all hanging out, like walking around the avenue and looking at mountains and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then they're like, oh, you know what would be fun? We're gonna put on a play
Yep.
because these people are so bored. They have no jobs. All they do is walk around and act like they don't. Oh, this is perfectly. Oh, I'm so intrigued by this. Oh,
Yeah.
London is so diverting. And they like
London is so
never
diverting.
they
Yeah,
don't
and
do anything.
except for poor Fanny, who basically is treated like a servant to her Aunt Norris and her Aunt Bertram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very much like Fanny will do it.
Yeah,
And
Fanny will do it. Fanny will walk
she's
4
pretty much,
miles this way, 4 miles back. Fanny will make my tea whenever. Oh, you cannot possibly take Fanny to that fun thing where she could have a good time, because
yeah.
what if we need her to make us a
Fanny
cup of
has to stay
tea?
here. Yeah. And it's very much Cinderella.
Cinderella. That's exactly why I love Fanny. I'm like, you sweet,
Yeah.
sweet girl.
Sweet girl. And the only one who ever looks out for her is Edmund. Edmund is
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe Fanny wants to go do the fun thing.
Yeah,
Or
and
like,
Fanny has like delicate health, which I mean, the bar was lower back then for what we consider delicate health, because like if you got rained on, you might die.
yeah,
So
right,
like,
of course.
but still, even comparatively, Fanny had more delicate health than the others, like
Mhm.
And they were like, and the Aunt Norris especially, she's awful. She's like, I could
Yeah.
not care less. I cannot, Edmund, I cannot express to you how much I do not care.
She's like, if Fanny dies, she's lived longer than she's supposed to anyway.
That's exactly her energy. It's
It's the
awful.
energy. So Edmund is like, well, I don't love that. Because Edmund and Fanny really vibe. They like get each
Yeah.
other. And
Yeah.
so he's always looking out for her. But he's also starting to have a little crush on Mary Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a little crush on him too.
Yeah. Except for the
And
fact that he wants to be a clergyman. And she's like,
right.
what's the most unattractive thing a guy could be? A clergyman.
The
It's just like just
clergyman.
so gross, just like not attractive. You know what I mean?
And he's like, interesting. And does nothing. That's
Yeah.
what
And
I
he's
like
like,
about Edmund. He sticks to his guns. He doesn't really care.
no,
Like,
I get it. She was like insulting, like openly insulting to him so many times to his
mm-hmm.
face, knowing that he wanted to be a clergyman. And he was like, alas, I still am in love with her. I think I'll ask her to marry me. And
That
I'm
is
like,
the
my
thing.
bro, like,
He that was the funny thing, because he openly with Fanny, I guess, and even with Miss Bertram, I mean with Miss Crawford, was like, yeah, that's not a good thing to say and I don't agree with you. But then he'd be like, I'm so in love with her.
oh, it's so stupid. It's
Sir.
so stupid. Oh my
But yeah, they
God. He's
they
a
put
bit of a
on
simp.
this stupid play. He is a simp. They put on
Yeah.
this stupid play because they're so bored. I cannot stress enough how bored you have to be to
I think
all
Yates, one
decide.
of their friends, was like, let's put on a play. And they're like, smashing idea.
I
Let's
love
do
it.
that.
This is like the equivalent of your cousins coming over, and it's like a family thing, or like friends coming over and you're 10 years old and you are all stuck upstairs and you're like, guys, we should put on a play and make
Mhm.
our parents come look at it in the living room and we'll charge them a quarter to see it.
Yeah,
That's
except
the
that you
exact
guys are
same
all
energy.
between the ages of 20 and 40 years old.
Exactly.
And it's
And
like
they're
the
like,
40-year-old men who are having mainly the idea.
and they're like, this will consume every waking thought we have for a month. And
Yep.
so they decide to do it, and there's
God.
all this drama about like who's gonna play what and like what play they should do and all this. And so this whole time though, Fanny and Edmund have been like, this is not a good idea, because of
Mm-mm.
course acting is so scandalous.
That's
And
impropriety right there.
yes, it's so improper and just not at all what should be expected from polite
No, and if
society.
Sir Thomas were to come home,
Oh
oh,
my God. Think
you'd
of
be
if
so
Sir Thomas should
upset
come home.
because he's also a
He's
stick in the mud. So that would be
yes.
awful. Oh my
And
God.
this is the one time, like, I've been kind of mad at everyone up till now because they've been treating Fanny badly.
Hmm.
But at this point, I'm like, can Fanny and Edmund not just chill out for 5 seconds?
I know
If
you're like, can you
everybody
just let
wants to
them
do
have
the,
their play?
like,
Like, you
just
don't have
let
to be
them
a
do the
part of
play.
it. Just let them do it.
I agree it's cringe and weird, but like, if they want to do the play, let them do the play. They have
Just let
no other
them.
hobbies.
Oh my
Like,
God, they have
please let them do the
nothing to
play.
do. None of them have a job.
And
I'm pretty
they're
sure
just,
Tom, the oldest son, is like a major drunk. Like he
yeah,
just drinks and just fools
like, this
around.
is at least something better for Tom to do than get drunk all the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And so there's even a part where uh they're kind of like, oh, Fanny, do you want to play a character? And she is so upset about it. And they're like, Fanny, why don't you play this character? It only has a couple of lines. We really could use you.
Yeah.
And she is like so upset. She's like, please don't ask me to do it. Don't ask me to do it.
Oh, she's so
And
upset. And Edmund sees
I
it and he usually steps in, but whenever like Mary's around, he doesn't step in as much as I would have liked for him
no,
to.
he's a little bit, come on, Edmund.
Yeah,
But
he could
he
be
also
better.
felt the same way. He's like, I don't really want to do it. But it's just that part, I was so annoyed. And I texted Emily and I was like, listen, Fanny's getting on my last nerve. Just do the play. Stop making a
Just let
scene about it. They're
I
asking you
know.
to read 5 lines and you
Mm-hmm.
make such a scene about doing it. It's so
I
annoying.
know.
And
I know.
Emily very thoughtfully and empathetically was like, well, if you think about it, Fanny has no agency in her life. This is the only thing she can feasibly still say no to. And like, so, but
Okay,
even when
okay.
she's saying no, they still don't accept it. Like,
Mm-mm.
even though they're kind of like allowing her into their circle, it's still not in a way that she enjoys or like
Yeah.
would like.
Well, I
And I'm
get
like,
it
okay,
just
I
in the
get it.
sense that she felt like it was a violation of her own moral code. So
Uh-huh.
I can get repeatedly rejecting if that were the case. Now, Fanny does edge close to hysterics. Like she gets so nervous about stuff. And they describe her many times as a nervous creature. And I think she would identify as a nervous creature. And she is a nervous creature. I feel like she could have just been like, absolutely not. And then just kind of been a little bitchy about it and like gone and read a book in her room or been like, absolutely not. I have a cold and like gone away, you know?
Yes, I would not have done it this way either. And I found it very annoying. But I'm trying to understand her, you know? I'm like, okay,
here's the thing, I can understand because she's like, this feels like a violation of what I believe morally. I don't believe in acting. I believe it's sinful. And I believe that this would be ungrateful to Sir Thomas, who has taken such good care of me. And I have been told repeatedly that I don't deserve to be here, but he has stood up for me occasionally and he has allowed me to have this life. And so I don't want to, you know, step on his toes, even if he's not here. So I still want to be respectful of him in his absence, which is the same thing that Edmund is saying. And so I get how she's like, oh my God, I'm being put in such a hard place. She doesn't need to like panic, and she does straight completely panic, like full panic, like her life is at stake. But I understand where she's coming from.
She totally doesn't need to panic, but I think that she has issues, like rejection and abandonment issues, that I think are messing her up
severely
mentally.
Traumatized. She is,
you know what I mean?
Severe trauma.
So she's probably like could react to things better, but like doesn't because of A, B, and C. You know,
our sweet Fanny. She's honestly, it's amazing that she's such a good person. This poor thing. She's gone through so much, and she's just chosen to continue to be a nice person in spite of it all. So I have majority only praise for her. But I just wish like
I do want to roast her a little.
So nervous. How could you not? And I have to roast Edmund. I know he's a sweet baby, but I'm also like, Edmund, oh my God. Either you stand up for Fanny or like just get involved, because then he ends up anyways, because they're like, oh, all the girls want to have a special part, and so we have to do this play, but then we don't have enough men. Maybe we'll just ask around the neighborhood, since Edmund refuses. And Edmund's like, that would be humiliating to not involve any outsiders in this. It's already so embarrassing. And so he's like, fine, I'll do it. And I'm like, but you couldn't have said anything for Fanny. Like, come on, my guy.
That was the funniest part to me, because also it was because he didn't want some rando to have to act against Mary's part. And he was like, that wouldn't be nice to her. And so that's why he decided, because he straight up is like, Fanny, I know that we think the same way about this. However, I will have to take the lead role in order to save this.
He's like, you don't understand. The play must go on. The show must go on.
Fanny, there's no other choice except for me being the lead actor.
Oh my God.
Cracking up.
It was so... And Fanny was like crushed. She's like, I had but one ally.
She was like, looks like I'm alone in my principles. So but they get, honestly, like, it's cringy and weird, but sorry, I keep saying cringy. What am I like on TikTok? But the
I don't know on TikTok. Now we're gonna roast TikTok.
But it's like, okay, I don't want to bungle their fun, because I do think it is fun to, you know, have something to do. I would love to roast them about the fact that they have to do this in order to have fun, because they have nothing going on. And I'm like, maybe get a job, you losers. Like, sorry. No,
it's so true.
Like, seriously, they always complain about stuff, and I'm like, maybe you wouldn't be so bored all the time if you had a job. Okay.
Yeah, Tom's like, anyway, I have one. It's having a good time and drinking a lot. That's my job as the oldest son.
My job is being a party rocker. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Which I feel like really was how the oldest sons seem to feel a lot in these novels. It's like, was that really all that was expected of you? And the poor youngest son is like, guess I'll go take up my job as a clergyman or as a soldier to try and...
Or it's the oldest son, like Anthony from Bridgerton, who's like, I will never have fun, and I am going to ruin my own life because I have too much responsibility.
Oh my God.
There's like no in between with oldest sons. You're a complete screw up,
oldest sons are crazy.
Or you are ruining your life. And so
how much you don't want to screw up, which is almost like what Edmund is doing, but not to the extent, in a different way, but still he's doing it.
I mean, he's the most responsible in the bunch, and everyone knows it.
I mean, I think arguably Fanny is. Brownie,
well, besides Fanny, yes.
When I'm recording, thank you.
So they do. So they're getting ready for the play. Everything's, you know, going on. And then who shows up the day that they finally get Fanny to read some lines? Who shows
Okay.
up at Sir Thomas early?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Julia has already ousted herself from the play because she didn't get the part she wanted. So she's very excited about it. She's like, my dad is here. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh shit. So they all get to talk to him. And at first they're like trying to like downplay how much they've been into this acting thing. And then
Yeah,
Sir
guys, I
Thomas,
mean, we didn't say this. They literally like paid people to build a real stage inside of this giant palace mansion place. Like they paid people to build
it's
this stage
so
and set
funny. And they've been rehearsing for a month.
for a
And
month, 24/7, like constantly.
like constantly, it's the only thing they do. And
As
so
if
Sir
as if their
Thomas,
livelihoods do depend on this.
they have nothing to do. So Sir
Oh my
Thomas
God.
like finds out because he walks into his room and he's like, okay, why am I standing on a stage right now? And
So
everyone is
sad.
like, oh, hi. And so
About that.
they kind of like shutter the play.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Sir Thomas is kind of like, Edmund.
He's like,
I thought you
Edmund,
were
I
supposed to
expected
keep an
better
eye on
from
this.
you.
And Fanny,
Poor youngest
and then
kid.
Edmund is like, Fanny is the only one who stuck to her guns about not doing the play, so don't get mad at Fanny. And
Yeah.
Sir Thomas has now decided he loves Fanny
Yeah.
because she has gotten like
Hot.
quote prettier. Yeah, it's like, okay, that's weird, but
I know. He's like,
so
pretty girls are worth something.
yeah, oh, when you
Absolutely.
were ugly, who gave a shit? But now that
Yeah,
you're pretty,
exactly.
so
Exactly.
yeah, so anyway, that's the whole play thing. Then we have Maria and or sorry, I keep saying Maria.
Mariah. I know. I
Mariah,
think Maria too, because when I read it, I read Maria.
yeah. I'm trying to remember exactly what happens next, but in the middle there's a lot of them like it's like Mary and Edmund kind of getting closer and
Hmm.
then
Well,
drifting apart.
Mariah. So Henry
Mariah,
Crawford had been flirting on and off with Mary and Julia, even
mhm,
though Mary was engaged to
or
Rushworth.
Mariah,
Sorry, I did it
yeah.
again. Mariah. Yes. But then the dad comes back and Mariah is still engaged to Rushworth. And so
Hmm.
he basically was like, fine, and kind of like marries her off. And she kind of was like, fine. And she went, and Rushworth is very wealthy. And so it's a good match, quote unquote.
Right.
So goes and marries him. And then Henry, has been flirting on and off with Julia. Not that he's really that into her.
Hmm.
Yates was also one of the guys who was in the bunch and he might have a thing for Julia. But then at some point around here, Henry decides, you know what would be funny? What a lark it would be if I pretended I was in love with Fanny Price. But then he pretty quickly was like, wait, Fanny Price is beautiful and amazing. I'm going to think on this.
Yeah,
And
he
so now
kind of is
that's
like, I need
happening.
something to occupy my time. I guess I'll just be in love with Fanny for a bit. And then he's like, oh, I am in love with Fanny.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
And that's the point when I was like, wait, is Henry attractive? Which is the part I felt like
shut
I
up.
really take
Okay,
issue with.
you're right, because objectively he is hot.
He
He's also
is.
the best at acting. Fanny says that multiple times. She's like, which I think is the hottest thing. And so they're like, he's like charming, he's
Mm-hmm.
funny, everyone likes
I
him.
just the fact that he actually did fall in love with Fanny and was like, "Oh my god, now that how have I not noticed before? Like this girl is totally worthy of falling in love with." I'm like, "Ah, now I'm falling for you, Henry." Because you showed a little bit of
Even
depth
though,
beneath your bad boy person. I only need like a half an inch of depth beneath the
oh
bad boy
my
persona. And my heart
god.
is like, oh my God, I bet he would change for me.
Well, you're like, I could fix him.
I could fix him. I bet I could.
The stuff that he pulls at the end, though,
Oh
like,
my God,
come
I know.
on.
I know. At the end, I was like, okay, so never mind. And this upset me. And Spark Notes, I take issue with you on this one as well, too. Although thank you for following us on Instagram. By the way, we're over 1,000
Oh my
followers. Thank you, my
god.
darlings. But
That was so exciting to me, you guys.
I
Top
know
5
Spark
moments
Notes.
of
I
my life.
know it's so exciting. But Spark Notes, I do have to say, I take issue with this because even in your summary, you wrote the same thing that I was thinking, which is that Henry did truly fall in love with Fanny because he started out pretending to be in love with her. It's like a game. And then he was like, oh my God, wait, I am in love with her. But then all of a sudden he pulls this crazy shit at the end. And I'm like, so you weren't ever in love with her, because if you were ever actually in love with her, you wouldn't pull that shit. So I have a problem. I have a problem with that, with Spark Notes interpretation. And I don't know if that was Jane Austen's intention or not, but if it was, then Jane, I take issue with that too.
I don't know if it's possible for Henry to be truly like self-sacrificing in love with anybody. I
And
think that
not
he wasn't,
self-sacrificing, but this was such a turn.
I mean, like,
Well, I felt like he had a
in a
little bit of a
real
chance
way.
at the end.
I think that he loved her as best as he could. Like, I think that
Okay.
he's not capable of anything better than that. That's
That's
what I
very
think.
possible. I forget that
So
some people are very bad at being loving. I
I think
forget
he's
that.
bad at it.
He is
Yeah.
bad at
And
it.
he's dumb. So,
Okay,
okay,
I
but
take it. I rescind it. Sparks notes. You're still
well,
correct.
I mean, it's a valid argument,
Yeah.
what you said. So we'll get to that later though. But
Yeah.
so what happens is he's like, telling Mary this whole plan. Meanwhile, we haven't really mentioned it, but Fanny is clearly in love with Edmund. Like this whole time,
Yeah.
she's very much so jealous that
Mm-hmm.
Mary and Edmund keep hanging out.
Yeah.
But like Jane never really says in so many words, I think, that she's like deeply in love, but it's like very
Mm-hmm.
obvious. And I
Yeah.
love that. And so, but
Can you hear my
yeah,
dog chewing on her bone right now?
I can't hear it.
Oh, thank God. She only when I'm recording chews on it. She never touches it unless I'm recording and in the same room as her. Same with she walks up and shakes her collar as loud as she can. Only does it while I'm recording.
Yep.
If you guys
Gotta
hear
get your
that, I'm
attention.
sorry. But yeah. Sorry, you were
And
saying.
so yeah, there's just like one part where Mariah and Julia leave, of course. I guess we already said that. And then so Fanny does not like Henry and has not liked him ever.
I'll give her that. She's been consistent.
So he keeps trying to like flirt with her and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like very like, no,
Not into it at all.
not
This boy cannot
reciprocating.
take a sign, or
He
maybe
can't
he
take a
just
hint.
doesn't want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to. I think
Yeah.
but that's part of what he even admits. He's like, she doesn't like me, and I really like that, which is weird. Like,
I've never ever understood that.
I don't understand it either, but he's doing it. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, everyone's so in love with me, but she's different. She's not like other
She's
girls.
not like other girls. Oh.
Fanny,
Oh
meanwhile, is like my cousin. And so they're
Oh
all
my
hanging
God.
out at one point. Oh, and Fanny's brother shows up into the town. So Fanny's brother William is
forgot,
like
yeah.
her closest
She's also
sibling.
obsessed with him.
She loves William. And so William shows up and he's been in the Navy. And
Mhm.
William's actually very like cool and fun to hang out
decent.
with. And he's
Yeah.
like
I don't
pretty
think he's like the
accomplished.
best judge. Like he's not like the wisest dude, but he's not as bad as Tom and his friends. So like
He's like somewhere in the middle. He's a guy.
Yeah,
he's just a guy.
He's just a dude. He's here for a good time. He doesn't really know Fanny super well, to be honest, but he does care about her.
Yeah.
And she loves him so much.
Yeah. So everyone's hanging out and Henry's trying to get with Fanny, but then Sir Thomas is like, oh my God, because he kind of knows that Henry wants to get with Fanny. And he's like, I think that'd be a great idea. So he's like, let's have a ball. So they're gonna have a ball. William gives Fanny this like little pendant. It's like a neck, it's like a cross, right?
Yeah, he'd given her a little cross that he bought during his travels, but he hadn't given her a chain to go with it, so she had nothing to wear it with.
Yes. And so she's like trying to figure out what she's gonna wear it with, and she goes, and Mary is like, oh, I'll give you a chain. And she's like, okay. So Mary gives her a chain that is from
very sweet.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
But it's from Henry. And so she's Fanny's like, oh, I don't really want to be like associated with Henry.
It's like when somebody lets you borrow something or gives you something that was given to them by someone they care about, and you're like, oh my God, no, I can't. This is
like, I don't give me that.
No, give me something. What did you get from the Dollar Tree? I'll take that.
Give me the worst chain you have, Mary.
Yeah.
And so and by this point, Fanny's being invited to things and people are noticing her more and stuff. Yeah.
And so they're like, wow, she's hot. Yeah, she may be Fanny's a little sickly, but she's hot. Now she's worth something.
Right, exactly. Now she has value. So so then as she's like coming back, she goes into her room and Edmund is there and he got her a present, which is a chain for her necklace, which is so very sweet actually. And
I just have to forget that they're first cousins.
I know. I seriously just am blocking it from my mind because I honestly think they're so sweet. Yeah. And so he gives her a chain and she's like, oh my God, like, thank you. And but then he finds out that she already got one. And he's like, oh, you have to wear that one. Like, wear that one. I won't be offended.
He's like, yeah, you can't offend Miss Crawford, and he still
yeah.
like thinks that he's head over heels for Miss. These
Yes.
men do not seem to understand what actual love is versus what I think I'm in love is. Like, there's no difference for them, and they're just like, oh, one didn't work out, I'll move on to the next. Like, I take issue with Edmund too. I'm like, Edmund, you're a sweet
meanwhile,
boy,
Fanny is
but
loyal this whole time. What
yes,
a queen.
yeah, she's
and
got
so
direction.
yeah, so she's like, yay, Edmund got me a present. And then she's like, oh, he's only thinking about Miss Crawford. Amazing.
Great, yeah.
So, but then the day of the ball comes and she tries the canes on, and Mary's doesn't fit. So she's like, oh, yay, I get to wear Edmund's anyway. So anyway, but she still wears Mary's to be nice. And so they go to the ball and she looks hot. She got like a new dress.
Yeah.
And she's looking amazing. We love that for her. I think, yeah. And so after the ball, Henry helps William get like a better position in the Navy.
Yeah.
And so that was really nice of him. And he goes to tell Fanny about it. And while he's there, he's like, oh, by the way, you should marry me.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I don't want to marry you.
Here's the crazy thing. The way that these girls reject proposals, not all of them, but some of the Austen girls, their proposal rejections feel like I points for directness, you know? But like, I'm like, wow, this is cruel almost. She's like, you could not say anything more unpleasant to me. You must stop. This is the worst thing you could say to me. You must never speak these words again. Like, there is no room for interpretation here. There is no gentleness, even for such a gentle person. And yet, all that directness. And he's like, so that's a maybe. And it's like, bro.
See? That's what I'm saying. They have to be direct. Mr. Collins was straight up like, okay, so I know you really mean yes.
When you say no, that's a yes, right? That's what ladies mean. No, she means no.
She means no. And so Fanny's like, no, I mean no. But Sir Thomas is like, Fanny, how could you say no to Henry? And everyone's like, Fanny, what the hell? How could you say no to Henry? Even Edmund is like, maybe you should accept Henry. Yeah. And she's like, oh my God, not you too.
She's like, my life sucks right now.
My life is over.
And then like Sir Thomas like basically like goes up to her room to like, Henry has tried to woo her a few times and that like tried to convince her to marry him. He goes up there. Sir Thomas tries to convince her to marry him. She says no. And then he's basically like, you are a grateful, spoiled girl and you're not worth all that we've given you. And just says like the cruelest, most horrible things he could think of.
So mean.
I had been like kind of liking Sir Thomas up until now because he had taken Fanny's side and he'd seemed to see some value in her. And then I was so mad at this point because the glass just shattered for me, the illusion. And I was like, great. He only appreciated her as long as she was like this perfect picture of what he felt like a sweet and modest daughter figure should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
So upsetting. I was like, awful. You gotta be kidding me. Poor Fanny. So nobody's on her side.
I'm on her side. I'm always
I know.
on
Fanny, I'm with you, girl.
Fanny, we're here for you. You don't need any of them. You have
Fanny
us.
Price, you got shooters. So yeah, she ends up going to stay with her family for a little while.
Well, Sir Thomas sends her as punishment to go stay with her poor family. He basically is like, when he tries to convince her again, can't do it. Henry tries to convince her again, can't do it. And when she's still saying, no, I don't want to marry Henry, Sir Thomas is like, you know what'll teach you a lesson? You can go live with your poor family. You can see what it's going to be like if you have to be poor and you don't
remember how
Henry's
you're
proposal.
Supposed to be poor.
Yeah, go enjoy that for a month and then see. And he's like pretty confident that she's going to be like, oh my God, I can't be poor like this. I have to marry Henry. He thinks this is going to get him what he wants. And so he sends her to go live with her very poor family, who she has not been in any kind of contact with since she was 10 years old.
Yeah, so insane.
Know them. It's insane.
And so they're a little rustic. They're not.
You're a little rustic. That's so nice. Nice thing to
say. Her sister Susan. Her name? Yeah,
the nice one, or the one that she's more attached to.
Yeah, she's kind of gets like a bond with her, and she's thinking like, oh, I can bring up Susan to have polite manners and stuff.
Yeah, she has whole siblings she's never met. And like, I don't want to be like down on the lower class because I know that that's what we're judging in this book, but they are presented in a sense like comparatively like white trash. Like that's the vibe. They have like a very white trashy vibe as a family, partially because her actual father also is a drunk and doesn't do anything helpful. And their poor mother is just like rushed off her feet trying to like take care of stuff. So there's no time to teach the kids like manners or anything. So all the kids are just kind of unruly and crazy, and everything's a little bit dirty and chaotic. And poor Fanny, who with her delicate constitution already,
Yeah.
is like, well, this is my hell, but I can't say anything about it.
Oh, Fanny.
It's so sad.
Yeah, so she's like trying her best here. And William's gone, right? Didn't William leave?
Yes, William left.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but she's been getting letters from Mary, and then through Mary, Henry. And also, so Henry ends up coming to visit, and he's kind of like, her
Let me
dad is like
take you
actually
away
being
from
nice
this
to him.
madness.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she's still like, no.
No, he's like, at any, but I liked this for him. He seemed sincere when he said, like, listen, if at any time you want to go home, we will take you away from here. Just, send a letter to my sister, and she or I, one of us will come here and bring you home or bring you back to our state or whatever. And he seemed so genuine. And I think he meant it when he said it.
This is
and I
like,
really liked it.
he is being nicer than you'd expect, like for a guy who got rejected multiple times.
Yes.
And, like, he is being pretty okay. And even Fanny is kind of like, I guess he's being all right. Like,
yeah.
But
we should say this is as good as he gets. This is his like climax of goodness, is he's being all right.
Yeah, this is as good as it'll get.
Yeah.
And so she also gets a letter from the Bertrams, and Tom is like dying because he got too drunk. And so she's like, oh my God. And then she gets a letter from Mary, and Mary is like, oh my God, isn't it great that Tom is dying? Because if Tom dies, then I can marry Edmund, and Edmund can be the heir.
Oh my God, you won't have to be a
Which
clergyman because we all know that that's so gross.
Insane. I
It's
could
a
not believe,
horrible thing.
could not believe she said that. Like,
the Crawford siblings are just really just show their worst
they're
side.
another
They're
breed.
just so
I was
much
like-
worse than they seem.
Yes, because Mary doesn't always seem that bad, but then this was like, ooh, okay, that's who you really are. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Good to
Henry's
know.
about to do a similar type of showing you who he really is.
Yes. And so our girl Fanny is like, what the hell? No way, dude.
It's
and
awful.
So she's so mad. And then and then she gets another letter from Mary later that's like, oh, by the way, Henry leaves. And she's like, so that's happened already. And she's like, by the way, if you see anything in the paper about Henry and Mariah, just please ignore it. And Fanny's like, I'm sorry,
what are you talking about?
And then she finds out that they're Mariah and Rutherford, what's his name? Rushworth. Why does it Rutherford? Rutherford.
I would say no. Rutherford is from something.
I know. Why did I say
I don't know.
Rushworth.
Rushworth.
Anyway, Mariah and Rushworth are like separated, and she's like, "What happened?" And so then Edmund shows up, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna take you back. We got a lot going on, and
I need you. So
yeah, I'm gonna need you, buddies." So Susan comes too, right?
Yeah.
Susan, Fanny, and Edmund all go back to Mansfield Park, and Edmund is like, okay, so what happened is Henry ran off with Mariah, and they are living together
in sin.
In sin. They're living in sin. And yeah,
it's
so
not
Tom,
funny. It really is bad. They broke up a marriage there. It was not good.
Did. And so Tom also was like so scandalized that he might die again, apparently. And then and then also Julia and what's his name?
Yates.
Mr. Yates. Yeah, they ran off
together. They went in like a
but at least they got married.
Yeah.
So Mariah and Henry are like, that's such a scandal. And so of course Edmund, then that kind of like ruins the whole thing with Mary and Edmund. And he was like, he like went over to go, tell her no. And he's like, yeah, she sucks. Like he's kind of
Yeah.
realizing again that she sucks. He's come to this realization so many times. And
So
then he
many
keeps trying to marry
times.
her
Like
anyway.
I'm like, Fanny, how is this boy attractive to you? He does not know his own
He's
mind.
so
Like
dumb.
he's so stupid. How is
Yeah.
this attractive? And she's like, well, he's a good guy. And I'm like, yeah, but he's a stupid guy. Well, I guess the rest are stupid and
They're
they're
all
bad dudes.
dumb.
So her
At
options are
least Edmund's
limited.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ed, so yeah, it's a mess. And so then that's pretty much what happens. And then Edmund gets to be the clergyman guy. And
Mm-hmm.
then kind of at the very end, it's
Very
like
end.
Edmund decided, oh yeah, I am in love with Fanny. And then they got together.
Yep.
And that's
First
it.
cousins together forever. Oh my God.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's right at the end too. That's the end
That's the
of
end.
Mansfield Park.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, with absolutely no like build up for Edmund. He's just like, oh, you
No.
know who would be a good wife is Fanny. Okay, Fanny, marry me. And she's like, I've been waiting for this forever. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he was in love with her before, but he didn't know. I think
I guess so. I still want him to have to woo her though, to make
I
up for that
know.
time,
And I
But
want to like
no.
see it. Like, why will
Yeah,
Jane not let us see it?
I
She's
don't
so
know.
good at writing like confessions of love usually, and we didn't get
I know.
one.
We didn't get one. I think that's what it felt like, so incomplete. It felt so partial to me. Like
Yeah,
it
the
wasn't
ending
like a
was
full
happened
romance.
so fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Like where was the confession of love? The I was wrong all along. It was you, not Mary Crawford. I was such an idiot. Where was that?
Where was if I loved you less, I might be able to talk about it more.
Ah,
Like,
which
where
is a
is
good
that?
line. I know. I know. I know. I'm thinking of the Darcy line, but I can't quote it directly like you did, so
Oh
I won't sound as
God.
cool. But
Um,
I love it.
yeah.
You've bewitched me,
You
body and
bewitched me,
soul, or
body
whatever.
and soul.
Yes. Where is that line? He's like, Penny, you marry me? And she's like, oh my God, yes. And he's like,
Yes.
excellent. We will be in the
Great.
clergy together.
I think they will be very happy together.
I think
They
they will too. I
already
mean,
are somewhat like they are honestly, they are the person each other looks to for everything.
he's a
Like
buzzkill. She's a buzzkill.
he's a buzzkill. They'll never go to a play in their life. Like I
No,
love that for
never.
them.
They're completely on the same page. It is a
They
different
really
page than
are.
everybody else is on, but it's the same page. That's what matters.
Yep.
Oh God.
Oh,
Yeah, that's Mansfield Park. So
pretty good.
we forgot to do first impressions. So I guess
Oh.
what was your first impression of this book before you'd read it?
I don't know. I guess it was I had about the same first impression for like Northanger Abbey and Mansfield Park, I think, where I was like, Jane Austen novel that I have
Mm-hmm.
no idea what the plot is. But you can
That's
kind of
funny.
guess, at a lot
Yeah.
of it. You're
Yes.
like, okay, there will be people, they will go to each other's houses. There will probably be a
A little bit of
picnic,
social drama.
maybe a ball.
There will probably be some cad who, shocks everybody with his horrible behavior at
There
the
will
end.
be some bitchy relatives.
Yeah. I love it. It is the same formula every time, but she's so good at mixing it up. I'm like, I have no problem. Give me the
So
same
good.
formula a million times over. I'll take it.
I would read so many of them.
My first impression of this book was so influenced by the Penguin Cloth Bound Classics edition which is the only collection of books that I am like actually trying to collect, is all of the cloth bound editions of this Jane Austen book. But the thing is, I have to remember now, after having read so many of them, that the little images on the cloth bound cover of the book have nothing to do with what the book is about. Like Sense and Sensibility, I think, has a bunch of chairs. Pride and
Right.
Prejudice has a bunch of swans. Neither of these things have anything to do with it, but I didn't know that when I developed my first impression of Mansfield Park, because the cover of Mansfield Park, the Penguin Classics cloth bound edition, is a bunch of chains linked together. So I was
Oh.
like, what is this, like some
A
like
chain for her necklace.
Oh my God. I was just like, is this like some Dickensian thing? Or is there like some like slave escape story?
There's
Like,
a
what is happening?
there's a prison break.
There's a
Yeah.
prison. I was like, this is gonna be some serious shit. So the first time I read it, and I was like, what? Why with the chain? Now I get it. That's smart. But explain to me the chair in Sense and Sensibility, and the swan in Pride and Prejudice.
Cannot.
Cannot, right? Right? Anyway, so that was my weird first impression. But what
I
was
like it.
your favorite and least favorite parts about this book?
Um, my, I don't know. I mean, I feel every time we do least favorite and favorite parts, I feel like I have to clarify whether it's like I didn't like the writing or whether it's just the
Yeah.
part that in the
It's
story
Jane
that.
Austen, so it's usually the
So
part in the
I
story that's
I
just
like the writing. Yeah,
yeah.
story wise, I was so annoyed at Fanny and Edmund for being such boring people
Oh my God.
about the play.
Yeah,
Like
among
I
other
was
things, just
so
such boring
annoyed.
people.
Um, I mean, I wasn't like I didn't hate it because I found it exhilarating to be so annoyed about it, but like,
Hmm.
it was that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Favorite, I hmm. I was liking when Fanny started getting like invited to stuff and people were like paying
Yeah,
more attention to her. That made
that
me
was
happy.
nice. Yeah. My least favorite part was when Henry ended up being a cat in the end anyways. Because
Yeah.
he had made like such like sincere and sweet confessions of love. I was like, oh my God, really? Are we gonna see like a guy? Because like I love that Darcy, he went through this whole transformation. Like he was a good guy to begin with, but he had to learn how to express himself better, because he came off like a massive prick. And I was just hoping for another transformation. And I'd already read the
Yeah.
book too, but I had been a long time and I have a bad memory, so I didn't trust my memory. Especially because to this point I've been like, wow, Edmund is so boring. There's no way. Is he really the love interest? I know I've read
No,
this, but
I
so boring.
immediately was like, my that's so interesting that you say that because my first impression of Edmund was, God damn it, he's so cute. I love him. I wish he wasn't her cousin. Like I was like, oh, he's the best. And then I was like, dang it, he's the love interest.
Okay, the first impressions of him I will say are better. He's not immediately boring. He becomes more boring as the story goes on. At first he's just like the cousin who cares about her and actually remembers that she exists, and that's very sweet. But then Henry is so hot when he shows up, but he's kind of a prick just because he's so immature. And I was like, I just wanted to see him grow in maturity. So I was so disappointed because I was like, you were going
Yeah.
on a good path. You kept going. You were being consistent. I was shocked how consistent he was being. And then he plummeted. And I was like, dang it. Oh,
More
I
of
still hate it.
more of a Wickham than we thought.
Yes, exactly. I just
Yeah.
didn't want another Wickham. But I guess
Ugh.
favorite part is I just like Fanny's character. I like that she sticks by what she believes, and it is really all she has is what she believes, and it does not make her
Oh,
popular. And when the one thing she could gain for herself is popularity by going along, she still chooses to stand by what she believes, and I think that's amazing.
true. So true.
Yeah,
Multiple times throughout the book.
exactly. What about favorite and least favorite characters?
Oh, okay. Uh, hmm. Favorite character, Edmund. Don't yell at me. Least favorite character, Henry.
What? Least favorite? Not even
I
like
was
Tom, the
so
drunk older
mad.
brother?
No, I didn't mind Tom.
Or
Well,
Mary, who was so mean to
no,
Edmund?
I liked Mary. She was kind of catty and like fun.
She was so mean. She was
Yeah,
glad that Tom was dying.
I know. It was delicious. I was like, wow, she is such a bitch. I love
Oh
that.
my God.
Henry, I was like mad at him because he could have been better and he wasn't. At the end, he was the worst. And I was like,
I
okay, well,
know.
screw you, dude.
Well, I know, but he could have been good. He had the potential at
Yeah,
least, you
and he
know?
squandered it. So
Well, you know
at
what?
least
Mary was always a bitch from the beginning, and she
I
stayed a
know.
bitch.
That's why I liked it. I was like, she knows who she is.
Oh my God. That's hysterical. Wait, so who was your favorite? Oh, Edmund. Yeah,
Edmund.
because he was a little sweet boy.
Yeah.
I guess I think my favorite is Fanny because of her consistency.
Hmm.
And that was the only like choice that she really had, was to be consistent, even when it did not bring her any kind of happiness or ease of life. So I favorite character Fanny. But least favorite character. Mm, my dog is over here hacking. Tell me, Brownie, what was your least favorite character? What are you hacking about? I don't know. This is hard.
Ooh, Mrs. Norris was pretty bad.
Oh, Mrs. Norris sucks. She's so mean. I feel like there was a better. I mean, she really was a major antagonist,
I
but
like honestly, almost none of them are likable.
No, they are. I'm trying to think of who's the least likable.
Sir
I mean,
Thomas made me so mad with his speech toward Fanny.
I know. And I had really liked him until them. It's
Me
so hard.
too.
This is for all of Jane Austen's books, you really see like the best and the worst of all these characters. So I'm having a really hard time saying like a least favorite. Because if I was gonna pick like a least favorite character for a single moment, it would be Sir Thomas for that moment that he just berated her. I mean, maybe I'm so disappointed. I think I'm gonna have to actually say he is my least favorite just because of that. He completely ruined himself. And up until then, he'd been so decent. I was like, oh my God, a decent human male in this book? No way. And then he completely ruined it. So Miss Norris sucks, but at least she sucked openly, like you were saying about Mary. Like at least she was bitchy from the beginning, you know? Henry was just immature, you know, I think.
Yeah.
But Sir Thomas should know better by now. And he's clearly chosen not to.
Yeah, you old guy. God.
Exactly. So I think he's gonna be disappointingly my least favorite. What about lessons learned? What did we learn from this book?
Stick to your guns. We also learned, if somebody continues to show you who they are, maybe don't keep falling in love with them. Yeah, maybe believe it. Maybe she really is just a bitch.
Maybe she really is just a bitch. Maybe he really is just a little playboy. I mean, guys, this is like just a fact of life. Things we can learn from literature. Oh my. I want to say we learned from this book, like, don't get together with your cousin, but there were really no repercussions for that. So I'm gonna bring that lesson in on my own.
That's
not
our
from personal experience, because I have no cousins. Luckily, no first cousins here, so we can't even.
Yeah, there's no danger of you getting with them. Luckily, thank God.
Yeah, thank God, because we all know if I had a first cousin, I wouldn't be able to resist. But we know from science and biology and also all of life, it's not a good idea to get together with your cousin. Definitely not your first cousin.
Don't do it.
Even if it worked okay for Fanny and Edmund, they were the anomaly and the two most boring people in the entire world. So unless you two are the most boring people in the entire world, it's still no. It's still, the answer is no. I'm really sorry about that.
Don't do it.
I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, we also learned, just let them do the damn play. If it's not,
oh my God, just let
it's not
them.
a big deal, okay?
No, you don't have to participate even, okay? But just like, you don't need to like go into hysterics about it.
You don't need to be such a Debbie Downer about it, okay?
Like, go for a walk.
It's fine if you don't want to do the play.
Yeah, you don't have to, okay? Don't let them pressure you if you don't want to.
Play.
Yeah, let them, let them dig their own grave. This is how I feel about a lot of things.
That's how it is. Sometimes you just gotta let things lie.
You just gotta let things go the way they're gonna go. Absolutely.
Whatever may happen, it's fine.
It's gonna happen. It's out of your hands now.
We learned.
What was I gonna say?
Think of something else.
Something to the effect of all right, we learned honey, he's not gonna change. Unfortunately, that's a lesson for me. Leopard doesn't change its spots, which is actually not always true. People can change.
Yeah, people, I don't know.
People can change.
But as the other lesson, maybe just keep an eye.
Keep an eye out. Maybe you need to make sure that change sticks when life gets hard and there are temptations and over a long period of time. Because this did not occur over a long period of time. He couldn't keep it up. And as soon as there was a temptation to run off with Mariah.
As soon as there was
an option. Yeah, so I think that you can't trust, maybe I should say, you can't trust that a leopard has changed its spots until those spots have been tested. Perhaps. Ooh. That might be the real question. Do the spots wash out? If they don't wash out, maybe you're good to go. But otherwise, just keep an eye.
I have another one. And this is one that unfortunately we also have to say all the time, in addition to don't marry your cousin. If she says no, she means no.
Oh my God. How many times do we go over this?
For real. We do not want to have to say it again, you guys.
Oh my God. She's not being coy. And if she was, that wouldn't be a girl you'd want to be with anyway. So just assume that no is no.
She does not want to date you, you gross man.
You gross 40-year-old man. God, leave her alone. Disgusting.
Yeah, those are good lessons.
Those are good lessons. There's a lot to learn from Mansfield Park. And really to each their own, don't judge another couple if they're boring, So what if a raisin doesn't want to be with a chocolate? But 2 raisins can be happy together. Let them have each other.
That's so correct.
It's so funny. I can't take full credit for the metaphor. The metaphor does come from Taylor Tomlinson, currently one of my favorite comedians. But I did spin it my own way. But thank you, Taylor Tomlinson, for the inspiration. You, my hero. She's so funny. If you guys need some good comedy, go check her out. She's on Netflix now. But what about favorite quotes?
Okay, I once again have 2 because apparently I can't help myself. One of them I just thought was funny while I was reading it. I laughed aloud. And the other one I thought was good. So this first one is from Mary Crawford. And she says, selfishness must always be forgiven, because there's no hope of a cure.
It's the worst.
Cracked me up. She was like, oh, you must forgive me. Selfishness must always be forgiven.
I remember that quote, and I remember being like, Mary, shut the F up.
I thought it was hilarious because it's like
the worst. Oh my God.
She is so, that's just how she acts the whole book. And Edmund is still like, she's got some faults, but I'm, it's fine.
Oh my God.
Edmund is actively like, yeah, I don't really like her that much, Fanny, but I am in love with her. And Fanny's like, okay, great.
Oh my God.
Then my other one was Fanny's quote when she's like trying to convince who was it? I think Edmund that she doesn't want to marry Henry.
Oh my God.
And it's I think it ought not to be set down as certain that a man must be acceptable to every woman he may happen to like himself. So true, Fanny.
Oh
queen.
my God, so true. Ugh. That's funny. I am disappointed to say I lost my quote. I could have sworn I took a picture like of my book, because I've been doing that lately. When I find my quotes, is just taking a picture of the page because I can pretty easily find it. And I can't find it. So I'm just going to find one off Goodreads. And this does happen to be one of the first ones on Goodreads. So I know it seems like it's just pure convenience, but I did just scroll to the bottom of all of the Goodreads quotes, and I still like this one the most. So I did put in my effort, and I can't find.
She scrolled,
quote.
you guys. She scrolled.
I scrolled first. Okay, God, guys, scroll first, and then you're fine. Anyways, the quote is, "Life seems but a quick succession of busy nothings."
Oh, I liked that one
so much. Yeah, right. It's a good one. It's pretty easy. It's pretty memorable. I just feel that I've been feeling that so much lately too. I mean, like with the fact that I like the last few weeks, especially, just felt like I feel like I'm constantly doing stuff. But then when I think back, and I'm like, what have I done for the last 2 weeks? I'm like, nothing. But man, I've been busy.
Nothings.
Yeah, busy nothings. Brownie, stop it. The cat will never be your friend. No means no. She's like, the poor cat's like at the door, and Brownie's like, she's wagging her tail so hard her whole body is shaking. She's like, I love cats. I hope that cat kicks your butt. You're not going to learn, you can get swatted. If only Henry could have learned such a way.
Yeah, unfortunately Henry gets off scot-free while Mariah is ruined. So
yeah, gotta love how sexist the world is.
You love it. We love to see
it. Woohoo! I guess I should say, how many pinkies up do we give this book?
I am going to give it 4 pinkies up.
I was gonna give it 4.5 pinkies up.
Nice.
It's really good. I mean,
I
kind of want to go to 4 though, because I think I want to go back to 4, because it's not like it's a book that I pick up all the time and I'm like, oh, can't wait to read this again. And typically at 4.5, I like look forward to reading again and I remember better. I didn't remember this one super well. And I love Fanny for her consistency, but Fanny and Edmund both are so boring. It's not the first book I would reach for of all of Jane Austen. So I think I'm going to give it a 4 pinkies
sweet.
up. They are sweet. Brownie, stop. Brownie is, you can probably hear her going her on the mic. She keeps whining. I bet it'll pick it up. Brownie, do you need to say hello to Auntie Spoons?
Hi, Brownie.
Here, I'll turn the camera so you can see her.
Let me see her.
See her. She's so excited.
Hello, sweet girl.
What do you need?
Oh, looking very nice in your peppermint neckerchief
I
there.
know. And she had a bath, so she's all shiny and clean and smells good. I'm sorry if you guys couldn't see her because you're not on the Patreon video. This is
I'll
not me trying
describe
to
her.
entice you to join
She's a
Patreon.
medium-sized brown dog, and she's
Mhm.
wagging her tail a lot.
She has eyes the color of slightly burnt caramel. They are full of self-pity
Aw,
and a desire for you to also pity her and give her whatever she
so
wants.
true. They're very
Yes,
soulful eyes.
very, very soulful. And her nose is always cold, no matter what, for some reason. No matter what. Um, calm down, Brownie. She's flinging her head side to side every time I try and pet her head because it's not what she wants. She wants to get UP on the bed. If I say, something I said UP. If I say the word that's spelled UP, she's gonna jump up here. Damn it, I said it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I've been trying to keep her off this whole time. She wants to be up here so bad. But I just washed the comforter, so she cannot. Also, because dogs aren't allowed on the bed. So my husband says.
I love how you said that, but you don't believe it.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all, but it's Javi's rule. So I try
Also,
and
dogs
mostly
are
abide by it.
not allowed on the bed. Who would do that?
God, that's
God,
crazy
those
talk.
sickos.
Ew. Yeah, God.
Oh
Who's the
my
humanity?
God.
Ugh, no class in this place. What are we?
Two
White
cats are
trash,
currently
Brownie?
sitting on my bed right now, licking themselves.
Well, I
Excellent
can't.
work, y'all. I've started calling them the garbage cats because they are so garbage. Like compared, I went and visited my grandma's house, and she has a beautiful white cat named Luna, and
Uh-huh.
she's like pure white and like
Oh,
silky
pretty.
and graceful, and
Oh.
she's so beautiful, and she's very demure. And I'm like, this is like a different species than my like shelter raggedy like
Yeah. No, I get that.
tabby brown cats.
I get it. My psychotic black cat with the crooked tail and the like the way she just processes things on like a different speed of reality. And then my sweet Yennefer, who does look like she's been dipped in garbage. My
I
sweet little
love
girl.
Yennefer. I think is beautiful. She's
Do
got like
you?
that brindle like
I think
brown
she's
and
pretty
orange
too.
coat.
Some people think she's a tortoiseshell. Some people think they're very ugly. I think
Okay,
she's cute,
tortoiseshell.
but
I
yeah.
think she's gorgeous.
Yeah, but she's
And
also a
she's,
shelter cat.
I mean, I think Luna is also a shelter cat,
She's
but
just as beautiful.
she carries herself like an aristocrat is what she carries.
That's what an aristocrat. I see. That's sweet. Um Anyways, is that everything for the book? All right, my dog got us off
Yeah, that's it.
course. Okay, sweet. Hooray for Mansfield Park in season 5.
Yay!
Thank you guys for joining us. You guys are what has gotten us this far. So if it were not for all y'all wonderful listeners, I don't know that we would have had all the motivation to keep this going for
Yeah.
now
Oh,
into our 5th season. What?
yeah, and we officially have surpassed 1,000 followers on Instagram, you guys.
We have, I think we have like 1,003 or something crazy
Yeah,
now.
thank you
So
guys so
thank
much
you
for
guys.
following our gram.
Exactly. And on that note, if you guys have not yet followed us on the gram, follow us on Instagram. We are That Pretentious Book Club because we are going to do another giveaway. So we're going to do a really special
Yay!
giveaway. We did one when we hit, I think, 300 followers, 500 followers, and now we're doing for 1,000 followers. We're going to do our best giveaway yet. Everyone will get a chance to enter it for completely free. You guys all have a chance to win, like sincerely, because 1,000 followers is still, I feel like that still, puts you in a decent range to win.
Sure, there's a chance.
So yeah, so you still have a pretty decent chance to win. So it's going to be some really cool bookish nerdy stuff and stuff specifically from the pod. So we're going to post about that soon. Worst case scenario after the holidays, hopefully before the holidays hit. We're like midway through November when we're recording this now. So it will be soon. But if you guys follow That Pretentious Book Club on Instagram, you guys will be able to see that. You'll be able to enter that. You can also follow That Pretentious Book Club on TikTok and Facebook. And if you guys have book recs that you want us to consider doing an episode on for next season, or books you just want to chat with us about, you can message us on social media, or you can email us at contact@storysirenstudio.com. That's our production company. You can also go to storysirenstudio.com or thatpretentiousbookclub.com. It takes you to the same place, and you guys can check out all of our merch. We have our fall holiday merch up now, plus all of our normal bookish merch. So that's some fun stuff. We've got some inside jokes from the pod on there, just some fun stuff if you like to read. And then we will soon have our Christmas holiday merch up. So that's going to be fun because we have always fa la line for the villain. That'll be coming out soon. If you're like me, and I am wearing an enemies to lovers sweatshirt. So
it's very cute.
Thank you. So I'm a big fan of that. Hopefully somebody else is. And I think we have some more merch in the works as well. So you guys can always go check there if you want to support the pod or just learn more about the pod. And you can also go to patreon.com/StorySirenStudio if you want bonus episodes, video episodes, exclusive merch, all the good bonus material. It's all there. You guys are welcome to go check it out. And I hope we hear from you guys. Leave us a review, 5-star, 1-star, regardless. You know that we read it and we talk about it. So go ahead, leave us a review if you like us or if you hate us. Either way is fine with us.
Let us know.
Let us know. It'll give us something to laugh about at the very least, or go, oh my God, our listeners are so sweet. We don't deserve this, which is true. You guys are wonderful. You guys are so sweet. You blow me away and I love it. So thank you guys. And thank you when you guys send us like book memes and TikToks. Just know that it makes my day every single time.
So
It's
sweet.
good.
Y'all are the
Thank
best.
you really are. So thank you guys for joining us. We will be back actually not next week, the week after next, because we are now doing our new schedule of every other week. Our new episode will come out. Sorry if that disappoints you guys. Unfortunately, it is just doing a whole book a week and recording a whole book a week is a little bit bananas for 2 adult lives doing many jobs at once, and Spoons is still in school, and it has just been a hell of a ride thus far. But a ride that we want to continue, and therefore we're going to be going to every other week. So not this next week, but the one after, we will have a new episode out for you guys. We will post about it in advance probably as well, so you guys can look forward to it, and we can still always chat until then. So until next week, keep your teacups full,
your pinkies high,
and your book club
pretentious.
Goodbye.
Bye.